Hello, hi, welcome to the show. Welcome to the podcast. My name is Charles. What did I do this week? A lot. How are you? How is everyone? Hope everyone is good. What's going on? Yes, this week was amazing. This week was should I say was or is? Yeah, his birthday, my nephew, is this week. So he was wanting to do so much. And so he went out with his friends, with his sister, and all of these things. They are in school. They had a good time. So happy birthday to you, baby boy. He's so sweet. So, yeah, I have been good, tired, working too much, and doing what needs to be done. Do I have anything interesting this week? None that I can remember. But adulting is doing me. I just wanted to say something. I was on TikTok Live the other day, and this particular woman joined. I just feel like some people, let's say, sometimes don't really understand that they can be mean and actually not what they think that they are. They think they mean well, but they are not really open minded, if that makes any sense. I don't know the best way to explain this for it to make sense. But there have been so many times when I have spoken to people about who I am and things like this. You tend to find out that they claim, in quotes, that they are okay with your sexual orientation and with queer people, but they are not there yet. I have always said this, and I say this to some of them when they speak to me privately, that life is a learning curve. You can unlearn some of the things that you've learned. If you've learned things that are not okay, try to unlearn them. Be open minded, because if you are open minded and are open to change, because change is one of the most constant thing, or is the most constant. Oh God, I'm going to bite my tongue. Is the most constant thing in nature. You are always going to have change, so be ready to adapt. Adaptability is something that some of us struggle with. That is why when certain things happens, they'll be like, "Oh, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? I don't want it to be this way. I'm used to what I am used to, and I don't want anything new." What I'm saying here is some people just don't know how to change their ways. I'm going to say this, and I don't know who this is going to offend. If this offends you, then I'm sorry, because this is how I feel. People that are fanatical when it comes to their religious beliefs, to me, can be very higgy and haga. This is why I struggle to be around people that act in that way. So I'm not saying religious people, because these are two different things. If you are religious, that is fine. But when you are fanatical, those are the ones who will weaponize religion to be mean to you, but they are actually very bad people. So let me make it clear here. Someone that is religious is different from someone that is fanatically religious. Does that make any sense? And I don't want to be around people like this. I don't want to, because the people that have treated me the most horribly, insulted me, have been mean to queer people and things like this, have always been people that are fanatical. Those are the ones who will say to you, "God said you shouldn't do this. God said this. God said this." Meanwhile, they are sleeping with their reverend father, their parish reverend father. They are sleeping with their pastors who are married. If that person is a man that is married to a woman, he is a DL homosexual. Selective morality, selective adherence. That's what some of you do. And that is not okay. Unlearn some of your bullshit. Be open minded. In this life that we are all navigating, every fucking body is not going to be the same. Everyone is not going to live and lead their lives in the way you want them to. Even your own child. Just saying, okay, I'm a good person. That's why I always say to my man, whenever I want to make him angry, I will say I'm a good person, and then I will come with whatever I want to say. Don't mind me. Let's get into today's topic. Why financial independence is crucial for LGBTQIA plus individuals, especially in societies where queer people face job discrimination, family rejection, and economic exclusion. Can we just breathe in? Can we just breathe in and breathe out? Just inhale and exhale, because this is heavy. This is one of the reasons why a lot of we queer people tend to not be able to navigate our lives in the way we are supposed to. Let me start by saying that a lot of these countries, like places like Nigeria, Ghana, Cameroon, and a lot of these countries where you are not able to be yourself, where you are going to face discrimination, where your family is going to disown you, excommunicate you, ostracize you because of who you are. Sometimes we make ourselves small because we want to be accepted. We don't want to lose our jobs. For instance, if you are someone that is feminine presenting and you live in somewhere like Ghana and you are looking for a job, you are working somewhere, you are on the streets and things of that nature, people may not want to give you jobs. They will insult you. If you are a barber, you act certain ways and things like this. These are just examples that people face. So this is something that we need to really, really talk about, because financial independence is something that everyone requires to be able to lead and live their lives in the best way possible. When you don't have money, when you are depending on your relatives, you cannot be yourself. I am going to use myself as an example. I have said that I will get to a point where I will share certain nitty-gritty and break it down. But I'm going to use myself as an example. The reason why I never came out to my family earlier was because I was thinking about tomorrow. I was thinking about my finances. When I was in Abuja, I lived with my sister. I was working somewhere where this man paid me peanuts. The money was nothing. The money that I was paid where I was working, mind you, I was his accountant. I was doing the purchase ledger. I was doing the P&L accounts and all of these things, because I just left university at the time. I had not just left university. I had done my youth service. If you are from Nigeria, you will know what a youth service is. So I had done that, and he was paying me 20,000 naira or 25,000 naira, and I had a phone that was over 150,000 naira that I was using at the time. The clothes that I wear, the perfumes that I wore, my salary could never pay for them. My salary could never clothe me. My salary could never, I was not able to pay my bills with my salary. Nothing. Nada. I lived with my sister. She did everything. One time, I've told this story before, I think on TikTok or somewhere. One day like this, I was working there, and it was 11 o'clock at night. I had gone to work 9 o'clock in the morning, and it was 11 at night. My sister was worried. She kept calling my phone and I wasn't answering. So she knew where the office was and she drove up to the office. So she was packing. I was coming out. She was like, "What are you doing? Why are you still at work at this time of the night? What is this man paying you?" And my sister was like, "Oh, you're going to leave this job. You are going to leave this job today." I don't want to sit at home every day, because that will drive me crazy. I pleaded with her. The reason why I'm saying this is that I knew what I was getting from my family. I don't want for my brothers not to give me money, for my sisters not to give me money. Can you imagine? Did I say imagined? Can you imagine if I had come out to them? That means I'm going to be excommunicated. They will stop giving me all the money that they gave me. I won't be able to do anything. I won't be able to have all of the things that I had at the time. My brother lives in London, in the UK. He will send me clothes. He will send me money when I was at school and all of these things. So those things wouldn't have been given to me. So the reason why I'm saying this is that for you to understand that having your financial independence is something that is crucial. Even though if you live in a society where people are going to hate you, the fact that you have some money means that you have leverage. I will tell you a story. I don't know how truthful this story is, but someone told me this. And this happened somewhere in the eastern part of Nigeria. This is a man, according to this person that told me this story, is well off. He has a lot of money. That is what financial independence do for you. He employs people. He's very, very rich. Has a mansion in his village and is married to a woman, but he is gay, homosexual. Every of the people there knew. They will even help him to do the arrangements and do whatever with men. He just brings different types of men all the time to his mansion in his village, and they will never ever do anything to him. Because if you know the African society, some of them, especially Nigeria, and some of them will respect you. People respect wealth. They don't care about how you make the money. That is why you will see people who will come to speak to us square people, and they'll be like, I'd rather have my son be a thief, a scammer, a fraudster than being gay. But at the same time, if you are gay and you are wealthy, all of a sudden nobody cares. Nobody cares. The thing is that when you look at certain places, for queer people, they rather just hide their identity for them to be able to get jobs, for them to be able to avoid discrimination, for them to be able to have family connection and not be rejected. And the worst one is having economic exclusion. This is all together because that means that you are now out and nobody's going to give you a job. For me, because of I live in the Western world, I am able to live my life. In the UK, nobody's going to do higa and haga. If someone does anything to you, that person is going to go to jail. It will be a hate crime. There is responsibility, there is accountability, and you are not going to get away with it. So let's go into the challenges of financial security as a queer person. Yeah. There's something I have always said to myself growing up, because I've always known that I'm gay. And I say this to myself. I said that one day I pray that I go to school, get the qualifications that I want to get, work hard, and I get to a place in my life where I will never seek assistance from anyone that is related to me, that I will be able to live my life. I remember my third year in Manchester. I kept saying to somebody that I went to see, I was talking to this guy, and I went to see him, and we went to a bar in Manchester City Centre, and we were having drinks. And I will never forget this when we were talking. And I said to him that I don't know what my situation is going to be in this country, but if I happen to be able to stay here, if there's opportunity for me to live in this country and I get to a stage where I am able to get a British passport, that's when I will come out and nobody will care. Boy, did I know that it's not as simple as that. I did know that you have to as well, even when you are okay with yourself, you have to still work on yourself because you are told by your society that you can never be comfortable in being yourself. And I just thought, oh, it's going to be as simple as that. But at the time, for me to even be able to go to a public place with him, that was a massive step for me because I was working on myself consciously. So I said that to him. The reason why I'm saying this is that financial security as a queer person is one of the biggest things you can do for yourself. When I mean financial security, there is never financial security in this world, in this life. You don't have financial security because everything you own and have can go in one day. It can take you years to build everything and you can just lose them. What I mean by you having financial security is you having a job, having the right savings and having the right attitude. just in case if anything happens, that you're able to be paying for yourself, that you have a job. It doesn't have to be you being a millionaire and having loads of money everywhere. That is what I mean. And workplace discrimination and the struggle for equal job opportunities, family financial dependence and rejection, and what happens when family support is taken away. Does that make any sense? Can you just think about you being gay, being young, maybe, or not even being young, but you come from a family where your family has a lot of assets and money and all of these things. All of a sudden, you come out. Now they remove you from the will. Now you are cut from the family. You are ostracized. You are not able to do anything. Nada. You are just left with nothing. This is the thing. If you don't have anything in regards to your backup plan, that means you are in a massive hole, deep shit. This is why we have to be mindful as queer people to always have a financial plan and backup. So the thing is, these are the things, right? That the challenges you're going to face. Why am I even biting my tongue? I don't know what's wrong with me. Economic vulnerability and homelessness can be something that we need to always think about. This is something that we need to always think about because you, as a queer person, especially when you don't have the right connection or you don't have the right support system, you can easily be homeless because no one is there for you to run to. That is why communities for LGBTQIA plus individuals is really, really important. I get really, really frustrated sometimes, not really angry, especially in my platform where we are creating a community for us to speak to each other, for us to have our allies and things like this, for people to just come and say nonsense. I feel like a lot of people ignore that there is a massive risk of economic vulnerability and homelessness for queer individuals. People don't understand this. And I feel like this not that I feel like that is why so many queer organizations that are helping queer people for homelessness and things like this are absolutely important to have. A lot of people forget that now, and more than ever, it is easier for people to get information. So if you are in a situation where you are vulnerable, where you are maybe going to not have a place to live because of maybe you came out to your people, to your family and things like this, you can Google places that you can go to. But in saying that, if you live in Africa, many African countries, this is not available to you. So what do we then now do in these situations? Of course, there are a few charities in Africa that I can't even think on. Oh God, that I can't even think on the top of my head right now that are able to help. But those are the things that I think that with time, actually, I will try to just check a few of these things and have them written down just in case if anyone is in a situation where they need help so we can give it to them. The easier we can make things for people, the better. Whenever I don't know, when I was recording last episode, I was emotional, and this one, the same thing is happening to me today as well. So I'm just going to lead with a story here. A few people that have come, like yesterday, actually, not like yesterday, there was this young boy. He lives in Ghana and he joined my TikTok live and was talking to me and said to me, I would want for you to at least maybe where you are, if you can employ me, even if he's cleaning and all of these things. I was speaking to him, but I held myself together not to show any emotions, but I was really almost at the point of crying because what he was speaking, he's 19. He's 19. Nobody to help. Where? Effeminate. He's the one that he's one of those people that he is an easy target, if you know what I mean. Because you see him, you can tell what he is straight away. And it's not easy for him. He said that he's studying, I think it's something in arts and things like this. And that really broke my heart. And in this situation, if you say to this person, you are trying to explain to them the importance of having financial control over your own life for freedom and stability, what do you think they will say to you? How am I going to have financial freedom if I don't have any means and skills for me to be able to do what I need to do. Because when he was speaking to me, I started asking him questions. I was like, do you have any skills that someone can employ you remotely? Because I started thinking of it kind of. Maybe if he knows how to edit videos, if he knows how to do a few things, maybe someone will be in the audience that will want to do those things. And for me as well, because there will come a time when I will start delegating all of these things because these things are not easy for me to do alone. Every of the things. So I was thinking about that. But unfortunately, he can't. But he said that he can braid, which is something that he can make a lot of money with. But at the same time, even if he wants to, maybe he doesn't have the money to buy the combs, the things that he needs to be able to braid and equipment. I don't know. So many things. You need things, right? But the thing is, I just left it there. But I know what I have in mind. Why I'm saying this and giving this story is that life is unkind to queer people, especially if you live in countries like that. I just did not go further to ask him his relationship with his parents because I just was not in the headspace to have that conversations with him because that boy is 19. That boy is 19. Can you imagine being 19, being gay, and you are somewhere where you don't even have families who are able to support you financially and otherwise? They are not even supporting you. They don't understand you. They think that who you are is evil. And you're just trying to navigate this world and do the best thing that you want to do for yourself. So having financial control can come in so many ways. But for you to have financial control, you need to have the money, don't you? You need to have the means. If you don't have anywhere to be able to make money, how are you going to have control of something that you don't have? So this may not really apply to everybody, but for those that it applies to, you need to have financial control of your life. I'm not saying that you should have plenty money, or you should have sense in the way you move with the money that you have. Because tomorrow, if anything happens, you know that you have something to be able to go to somewhere. But then if you live in Nigeria or Ghana, like this boy does, with no money and no means, you are trying to find a way to leave your country because you want to go to somewhere where you can live your life freely. Even at that, that is expensive. That is something that a lot of people are not able to afford. And sometimes when you talk about things like this, and when we talk about things like this, you need to be very sensitive, extremely careful in the way you speak because our circumstances are totally different. For instance, I don't come from a wealthy home, but I come from a home whereby I was supported financially at the time in the best way possible that they could. It was not enough in comparison to so many people, but it was okay. And some people don't even have that. This is why we need to start building communities and situations where we can offer helps like this. I don't know, I just have this at the back of my mind. Whatever I'm going to do with this, I will do when I feel like I want to or if I can. Building a strong financial foundation is important. So now, what are we talking about here? As a gay person, you need to not only gay. Why am I saying gay? Gay, LGBTQIA plus, so trans women, trans man, non-binary individuals, and things like this. Learn how to budget and manage your money wisely, even with limited resources. There's something I always say to my nephew and my niece when I have conversations with them. I say to them, the reason why sometimes you ask me for things and I do it for you is because of I have financial discipline. Financial discipline is key. If you have financial discipline, that means you will be able to manage the little that you have and do something. Have you ever seen people who will make 10 times the money that you make, and before the end of the month, they are broke and they are asking you to lend them money? That is lack of financial control. And for a queer person, if you don't have any financial control and budget the things that you do wisely, then you're going to have a massive, massive problem. In saying this, it is important for you to know that you need to learn how to save, invest for long-term security. There are different forms of investment that you can do. So if you live in somewhere like the UK, I don't know for Nigeria now, but there are so many things you can use to invest. no matter how little your money is, you can start to invest from as low as £1. It's easy. There's so many investment platforms now that you can go on to and just open it like that. All you need is your NI number and things like this, and you're good to go. There is Wealthify, there is Moneybox, there is Hargreaves Lansdowne, there is, what's this one? I have a lot of them on my phone. There is Pension B for pension as well. Where is this thing? I think it's Invest something. I'm sorry, I can't remember the name. There's so many of them that you can go to. Just Google. It's easy for you to invest and have some money. And when you are investing, just know that you have to leave it there. Investment is for the long term. Because if you are checking those things, depending on if you are checking those things, depending on what you invested in, sometimes you can check your thing and you see that you've lost like £600, £40 or £50. That's what you would think. But over time, your investments will pay because they will grow. And another thing that you need to do is explore side hustles, freelance opportunities, and things like this. Especially if you live in somewhere like Africa and Nigeria, these days it's actually easy for you to get side hustles and you can be like virtual assistants, cut YouTube videos for people, create like documents for people and things like this. You can do that from, oh God, Fiverr. Is it Upwork? There's so many platforms that you can do this to be able to get money for yourself. That is why sometimes when certain people come to me on TikTok and they say, oh, I'm looking for this, I'll be like, there is so many things that you can do for people to be able to make money as a side hustle. And a lot of people tend to ignore this. I feel like we as square people, we need to think about our future, what we need to do to sustain ourselves, because the environment is hostile to us. You need to think about this. And if you are someone that has a job, then you need to make sure that you are saving for emergency funds, which means that if you are working, you need to at least, worst come to worst, that you have at least 3 to 6 months of your rent to pay in case if you lose your job, or to pay for your mortgage in case if you lose your job. It is called emergency funds. Of course, tomorrow is not promised. Tomorrow is not guaranteed, but you never know what will happen. I know that anything can happen to anybody tomorrow, but as long as you are living, you need to have some form of investment, emergency funds for rainy day and things like this, because you can't just be out there living your life recklessly, buying all these designers, buying all of these things and just think, oh God, blah, 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 blah. No, it doesn't work that way. So these are the things that we need to think about. Financial literacy. And this is something that they don't teach a lot of us in schools. That is why certain people will come out and they pick up their salary and they will just run through it without budgeting. Budget, 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 and plan. No matter how little your money is, be wise with it. Can we talk about getting into about career growth and entrepreneurship? That can mean so many things. So if you are in a job you want to grow, or you can learn a skill, try to improve your chances of getting a better job, or exploring working for yourself. These days, people actually do social media as jobs. There are so many things that you can do to be able to sustain yourself. You seek a way to find where friendly workplaces, meaning that places that if you go to work and people know that you are where, it's not going to be hostile to you. I know I have said this already, but the way things are now, it is so easy for you to get information about things. If you are searching for jobs and you are not sure of where friendly workplaces, go on Google. Even ChatGPT can help you and all of these things. Go on all of those places. Check, 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 check. Network. Networking can help you. You call it networking strategies that can help you to grow in your career. You know what I'm saying? Some people are very good at this, in building businesses and personal brand and things like this. For instance, okay, I work, I have a job, and then I do my social media, right? And this social media, of course, you do all of these things. It may not really give you the money that you want immediately, but at least you know that you are doing what you want to do and you are reaching people. And from there, you are building your personal brand as well, if that is what you want to do. Through that, you never know. I'm not saying that this can happen for everybody. It may never happen to me or happen for me, but it may lead into a place where you start making money from it. This is about a way to monetize your skills. Say, for instance, you are someone that loves fashion. You are maybe a hairstylist, a makeup artist, a fashion designer. You can create your TikTok account, your Instagram account, your website. Creating a website these days is not as difficult. Even my nephew got his friend to create a website for him for his little business that he was doing. I was really, really impressed when I saw that. And he's a student in Nigeria. And someone can shop through there. So these are the things that you can do. And then you put yourself there, you put yourself out there and try to use it to get some form of sustainable income for yourself. Of course, it's not going to grow overnight. There is nothing like overnight sensation. Everything takes time. People will discover you and say, oh God, this person is an overnight sensation. No, it does not happen that way. But the more you put in your work, you put in the work, sorry, the more you work on it, the more you do these things, before you know, you are where you want to be and you will start to sustain yourself financially. Sometimes we forget that life is not always what you want it to be. Life is full of ups and downs. So you're going to have ups and downs. You are going to maybe have financial setbacks. But at the same time, you need to learn how to rebuild it. So overcoming financial setbacks and rebuilding stability is something that you need to have at the back of your mind. Because let me tell you, the number of times that I have had a job and lost the job, sometimes it may be a temp job, and you lose the job. You fall back, you fall, you get back up. That is life. It's never going to be smooth sailing. It's never easy. You're going to have ups and downs. But even with that, you need to understand that in your downs, you're going to learn a lot. There's something someone said to me a few years ago. Failure actually is something that is useful. I was looking at him. Well, he was like, failure is not negative because it teaches you a lot about yourself. You get to know if you are persistent, if you are resilient, if you are determined, if you are strong willed, it will teach you a lot. So you're going to have setbacks. Even if you are creating content on social media and things like this, there will be times when you post that video and nobody's going to watch it. Or if they do, it will all be negative comments and things like this. But what? Should that stop you? Never. You should continue to do what you are doing. I just need to say something to you. In case if you happen to lose financial support to your financial support from your family, what should you do? What should you do? This is a very big one, depending on where you live, the society where you live in. If you live in the UK, you live in America, you live in Germany, you live in Sweden, Australia, all of these places, Canada, then you can go to the government. You'll be able to get support from the government and things like this. But in Nigeria, that is something that is not available to people. Not only Nigeria, most developing countries. I remember something someone told me a few years ago, that this particular boy, his family kicked him out because they found out that he's gay. But he was able to get somewhere to go and stay because of where he lived. Can you imagine if that was Nigeria or Ghana? That would be a problem. Maybe you may get someone that will say they want to help you and then they take advantage of you. And this is something I pray that it never ever happens to anyone. I feel like in situations like this, you're not even able to seek any grants, benefits, or anything. How are you going to recover from situations like this? How are you going to recover if you have a job loss? In Nigeria, if you lose your job, you don't have any incentives from the government. That is why a lot of people are on survival mode all the time. So this advice, somehow, I don't even know what to say, because whatever you are going to tell somebody, that lives in Nigeria or Ghana as a queer person, how are you going to get support? The only thing I can say is that if you are young or younger and you are trying to further your education, maybe you may be lucky to get grants, scholarship, funding opportunities, and things like this. And I know, well, I don't know this like for sure, like the names, but there are organizations who provide grants, scholarships, and funding opportunities for LGBTQIA plus individuals. But I don't really know about them in detail. But with Google, you can check. You can ask everywhere. You can check. It's easier to find these things. And then if you are in that situation, that means you then have to apply. There are so many of these things that are available. This is why the times that we live in now, it is ever so easy and easier for people to get information. It is important to no matter where you live, whether be it in Africa or anywhere, you need to find community support, things like this, like mutual aid and financial literacy resources for you to learn how to go forward and what needs to be done for yourself. These are things that we need to have in mind. Of course, I have spoken about this in the way I know best, and some of the things that I want to talk about, I can't just even remember. But just know that as someone that is queer, you need to always think about how you are going to better your life for tomorrow. You know, I just feel like we are in a situation where we do this, you did that, you do that, people are going to say a lot of nonsense. I want to tell you something here. And I hope that I have done a good job of making you understand the importance of financial independence. The reason why this episode matters a lot is that financial independence is more than just money. It is more than just money. This is why I said I was going to speak about something like this. Of course, I have done it in my best way possible, and I'm not perfect. No human being is perfect. Financial independence is important. So important. Is not just money. It is more than just money. It is freedom, security, and the ability to live authentically on your own terms. And that is something that every one of us wants. Where individuals deserve financial stability and success. And this is why I said I was just going to speak about this to give you some of the tips that I think I know. They may not work for everybody. I may not have been able to cover everything that needs to be covered, but I am doing it in my own best kind of way, because you can never ever know everything. So just try as much as possible to develop your own way of dealing with things. And I'm going to advise you here. Don't come out to anybody if you are in a situation where you are not able to sustain yourself, because that will be the worst thing that you can do for yourself. Because then, if you're not able to sustain yourself, how are you going to take care of your bills, feed, and do all of these things? How? I want you to learn, I want you to know that you are loved, you are valid, you are amazing, you are fab. Who you are is not wrong. Who you are is not wrong. I hope that you've taken what needs to be taken from this. And I hope that we are doing what needs to be done. Let's do this together. Let's do this together. Secure the bag. Secure our future. Live on our own terms. It is called queer financial independence, my dear. We are the vibes. We are the moments. Who you are is who you are. Never apologize to anybody. Let me know what you think about this episode. You can write into the podcast by sending your email to info@myownKindofWrongWay.com. I have been Charles. I will see you in the next episode. Bye for now. Have a wonderful time. See ya.